Hey everyone, Nubkeks here. Welcome back to the Road to Grandmaster. In today's video, gonna be playing on Valla and got a very interesting and exciting game for you here. So, as you can see on our team, we do have a Butcher, which is being played by Blade from Team Expert. I think they're the number 4 team in EU, and he is like the melee assassin player for that team. He's kind of rocking the Butcher in today's video, which is kind of fun. We had Wooby on the Butcher in one of our previous videos during the week. It's a very interesting draft coming through here. Basically, our Tyrael player was in a position where he had to play warrior and didn't have any warriors that weren't banned out except for Tyrael, and he basically says, well, I haven't played Tyrael in about a year, so yeah, we're gonna teach him how to play it, basically. I actually just recorded a video on Tyrael myself, so check that out if you want to learn how to play Tyrael, or if you're this guy watching this video for some reason. Yeah, there you go. I thought this is a really interesting video, and I think you're going to enjoy it because, I mean, if you look at our comp, right, we've got double support with Malf Tassadar, we have a Tyrael, and then we've got a Butcher, and I'm here on the Valla. One of the things I've noticed a lot with Vallas in Hero League, especially when I'm on Tassadar trying to back them up, is that they're nowhere near aggressive enough and they don't push their advantage enough at all. Okay, in that case I actually went a bit too aggressive right there. We obviously sidestepped that. We're putting ourselves in a little bit of a tough spot. That was too aggressive. Okay, that's a bad time to talk about that. It was a bit of a very kind of crazy rotation from me, but we will survive, just about. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be pushing your limits as Valla in this sort of composition. And that's something I want to talk about as we go deeper in this game. Utilizing the Tassadar shields to really get as much out of the heroes as possible, not being like passive and staying back, but relying on your supports and making the most use out of that and trading aggressively. Now, we got a very difficult time because they have Azul Jin, who obviously will out-trade with us. He's very hard-hitting, a very scary hero. They've got Artanis as well, so you have to watch out for Artanis flips. He's going to have Suppression Pulse too, presumably. I don't remember, I think he does. They have Arthas as well, who's got physical armor and has got roots and all that lovely goodness. He's going to have as well Army of the Dead minions, which will get in our way. Then they got Lucio, who can speed boost people in. Oh, that's Gerdam Herd, by the way, who's a former pro player in EU. Very good support player. So I thought that was also interesting, go up against him on the Lucio. They have Ragnaros too, so some extra fun. They've got Ragnaros as well. So lovely speed boosted Rag, Arthas, and Artanis charging down on top of us as the Valla. Never fun. But yeah, okay, so looking at this early lane phase, again, it's myself, Malfurion, and the Tassadar. Basically what our goal is, we've got very limited damage right here compared to the enemy team. We've got Artanis and Azul Jin. Basically it's all on me right here. You can see we're pushing that Azul Jin out. What we have is a lot of resources in terms of our health and in terms of our mana. Malfurion can obviously keep refilling that. I think we might die here. This isn't looking too good. No, we're actually okay. We're actually just fine. But yeah, Malf can keep refilling our mana. When we take health damage, he can also heal us, and Tassadar can shield us, and we'll heal up from the Tassadar shields as well. So we can actually afford to be extremely aggressive and push things down, and that's what we really need to be doing. So yeah, I mean, you're going to see this throughout the game. I think it's very interesting. Like right there, for example, look, like even me watching that, not paying super attention because I'm talking at the same time, was kind of going like, oh whoa, okay, so did I overextend there again? And I put myself in a bad position, and I actually actually no, it's actually a really good position. And we were able to get a lot of harass off, and actually with the healers there, we're actually just fine. That's exactly what I want to dive into in this video. Exactly what I want to dive into. Now the Dragon Knight is going to push, and this opens up some pretty interesting stuff for us. We can do like a Tassadar Valla push as well, which could be pretty cool. Hello Arthas, we're going to dismount him and just be a bit annoying. Gonna start rotating down here, see if we can make some aggressive plays happen. All the time that we're wasting for these heroes down here is time that they're not there to defend the Dragon Knight, so the Dragon Knight's going to get plenty of value. We're going to clear out this bottom lane too, and then rejoin our team. Talents are quite interesting in this match. I actually, in hindsight, didn't like the talents I picked. Kind of considering the talents right there is a good knockback by the enemy team. We're slowed down as well, and we get picked off by the Azul Jin W. We just got kind of owned right there. Overstepped a little bit, and did get punished for it. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely not a flawless game. I want to go to talents for a second because I feel like I actually made mistakes with the talent choices as well. So I did grab Hot Pursuit at level 1. So when we're at 10 stacks of Hatred, we're going to get 20% bonus move speed total, and we're going to regenerate 4 mana per second. So that will really help our mana regen, which is great, and move speed in the team fights, which is very essential. Level 4 then, Punishment. We're going to increase the damage of our multi-shot by 4% per Hatred stack, total of 40% more damage on our W. Very nice for wave clear and just damage in the team fight as well. Then at level 7 I went for Death Dealer. Whenever we vault, it will improve the damage of our next basic attack, and this is basically filling into... The reason I picked up Death Dealer here was to just put out single target pressure. See me using it there to finish off the siege camp. Fortunately, Tastar does die. Not really worth it for him to die for a siege camp. Very smart scout from Lucio, using the walls and his speed to just get in and scout completely safely. Very, very smart. The Death Dealer is basically single target burst damage. I think it's a very good choice against the Lucio, who doesn't have, you know, particularly single target healing. It'll help us potentially to catch Zul'jin by surprise as well and burst him down. And we'll synergize nicely with the Butcher and his sort of single target pick potential as well. So once again here, you can see we're very much in the front lines. There's a lot of pressure being put on us to do pretty much all of the work in this game. We're the only real range damage for our team. And we're being backed up by double support. So there's a lot of weight on our shoulders. You can see some of that pressure taking a bit of a toll already. And just how it is difficult for sure. It is difficult for sure to try to do this. But you really do have to try to push those limits out and try to be as aggressive as possible. Artanis does rotate in. We're not too worried about that. Just going to turn around and start shooting him. Again, we can rely on our team to actually back us up. We're going to focus down Artanis here. There we go. We actually get the kill on Artanis. Good rotation by Arthas, which is going to scare us a little bit. Let's try to dodge that Zul'jin's W. Move back in. Fire off a bunch of basic attacks. Catch Zul'jin with our Q on the way out again as well. And start clearing this wave. Okay, we got a shield on us right now, so we can continue to be fairly aggressive right here. Butcher's taken top. Artanis is still respawning. You kind of pushed the enemy team back. And Tyrael is on his way to that mid lane to try capture that Dragon Knight. He might get it. They might be back in time to stop him. Ragnos is there. Yeah, I think they just about stopped it. Lucio knocking back the Tastar. We're going to come in and try put some damage out. Try scare these guys away. Both teams have level 10 right now. So Zul'jin becomes kind of scary there. We vault out of his W to make sure we don't get slowed down. Which Zul'jin's going to have his thing right now, which is a Tastingo. So he will go invulnerable if we try to kill him. Makes him a big pain in the ass. Tastar goes down, but we get the Dragon Knight in return for him sacrificing his life to hold that control point. I'm gonna clear some of this out. Hello, Zul'jin friend. Nice to see you. Gonna pop Strafe. Chase him down just so the last arrow of Strafe does pick him off. Gonna try vault out of there. Tyrael comes across, trying to keep us alive. Unfortunately, we get picked off actually by the Arthas Q. Luckily, somewhat luckily, it means that the suppression pulse is wasted. That was a pretty nice kill for the enemy team, especially because they still have some damage here, whereas we basically have nothing left now with me being dead. Now, the good news is that while they're getting value with this 4-man push down bottom, they got a couple of towers. Blade on the Butcher, he's continuing to farm his meat and fulfilling his Butcher quest. He's getting 2 lanes of XP soaked for us as well, and those minions are going to be getting some fairly decent structural damage. So we're certainly not walking away with nothing from that trade. But it is definitely a trade. Kind of interesting. So good strategies from the enemy team. Waiting until that Lucio goes away. Okay, he came in and he spotted us. He's got us scouted out. But I'm feeling pretty confident here. We're in very good shape. I think we can actually fight them off. They're probably... Yeah, we can see they're in the mid lane. Okay, they actually get a good flip there on the Malf. Malf's in some trouble. We go in very aggressive, trying to back up the Malf as much as we can. There we go. Teammates arrive. We get 1 kill on the Artanis. They went a bit too deep. But yeah, you can see right there, we're kind of pushing the limits once again. See, I'm lurking around here. I'm just waiting for a shield to actually come on, and then once I get a shield, I can afford to go very aggressive. No shield arrives. Good Butcher attack comes in. Drop the beat, though, does save him just about. You could maybe have even stepped forward a little bit more, got a couple of other attacks off, and actually kill that Zul'jin there. It's a little bit scary, though. But yeah, you could see I was on like about 100 HP or something at one point in that fight. But just waiting on the wings, safe but ready to go back in case the Tastar shield did come down. At that point, kind of hit the pedal again and go in to just churn out more and more damage. That's a very nice route there on the Ragnaros. We could have vaulted forward and killed him as well. Like I said, I think this is a really interesting game because it does point out like some of the mistakes and like some of the aggressive moves we could have made that we didn't at the same time as some of the ones that we did do. Sometimes well, sometimes not. But yeah, right there we could have actually vaulted forwards and I think killed Ragnar's. Obviously they had a lot of heroics available, so it was a risky move, but I think it could have just about worked out, especially considering he fired to suppression pulse kind of further back. We would have dodged it and be able to finish him off. Right here, this isn't good. Gonna vault to the left and then juke back to the right. Very important that we actually do that. If he'd hit us with that, I think we might have died. So yeah, we were kind of out of position, but we used that to finish it off. Coming in with a strafe, just putting some pressure on. We're gonna get one kill. Actually, nice flip by Artanis. He might actually live here. Arthas comes around as well. Once again, the Butcher is getting a ton of value in the meantime. Bear that in mind. So we're not completely without value. Artanis chasing us down. These little minions being extremely annoying. I got lazy with my my stutter stepping. I've been using attack move. In this sort of situation with Arthas and all those frickin' Army of the Dead things, you have to simply use right clicks to do it. So I need to do that a bit more. So right here, I know my teammates are there. We've got 2 enemy heroes dead. We're going to be able to come in and pressure down some of these towers. At this point, we have the interesting choice of do we push bot lane or do we push with the Dragon Knight? I'm actually going to decide to push bot lane instead. Tester saying, I love the drive-by lamb to the slaughter. Like I said, look at the XP right now, right? So we're not that far in terms of ahead in terms of team fights. The main, or even structures yet. The main reason that we have so much more XP and more levels than the enemy team is that they've been sending multiple heroes down to fight us and to stop us and leaving the Butcher pretty much uncontested in the other lanes. Right here, once again, they've sent 5 heroes to defend against the Dragon Knight. I'm pushing in bottom. We got 2 towers. Gonna get a little bit of fort damage as well. Gonna mount up now and make it my way back up towards the top. I think we stayed a little tad too long. Gonna pop strafe, make sure we can pick him off. At this point, I didn't actually realize the Butcher had died. This is my bad, so I went in a bit too far forwards. Getting flipped by Artanis there is pretty much a death sentence. We are gonna go down. No way out of that. Tyrael actually dies as well. So it's a bit unfortunate. Now, we didn't quite catch what happened in the mid lane because we were doing a split push Valla thing, which is actually, I think, perfectly reasonable. Not sure exactly what happened in that middle fight. Potentially they did overextend. Potentially I was definitely like maybe a little bit too slow going for that regen globe, which you really didn't need. Yeah, I actually ended up taking the wrong talents. This is where I felt it went kind of wrong. So the talents I grabbed here, which I actually realized in hindsight were kind of a bad choice. I grabbed Gloom at level 13 to basically protect against, blow up from the Ragnaros. Just, in case we got like rooted and got hit by Sulfurous Smash. So that's why I grabbed Gloom. I'll basically tell you the reasoning behind the talent build I picked and then why I don't like it. Level 16 grabs Seething Hatred, which makes your hatred last an additional 2 seconds, and you get 2 stacks of hatred at a time. So you stack it up really quick, which basically synergizes with every single talent we've picked so far. And then Rancor at level 20, when we're at each hatred stack gives us 2% attack speed for 20% total, and then at 10 stacks of hatred we get an additional 30% attack speed. So, it's a really nicely synergized build with itself. It's all based around, we generate hatred super quickly. We're pretty much always at 10 hatred. We've got bonus move speed, bonus mana regen, bonus W damage, bonus damage from our E. We can, pop Gloom on our number 1 key there to get a chunk of bonus spell armor. And then we got 50% bonus attack speed. It's like a whole load of self buffs. It's very powerful. However, I think there was a better build we could have gone for in this game, which would have been Tempered by Discipline at 13, Manticore at 16, and then Farflight Quiver at 20. So Tempered by Discipline, when we're at 10 stacks of hatred, we heal for 25% of the damage we deal, which is pretty good, and would enable us to... I think it just would have healed us up a lot, especially with how aggressive we're going to be able to be with the Tassadar. We could afford to lose loads of our life and then, just heal it back up really, really quickly. Maybe slightly overkill. We could have still stuck with Gloom, but Tempered by Discipline or Gloom, both fine choices. Then I think Manticore and Fireflight. Manticore, every 3rd basic attack against a hero does 5% of its max health. In fact, I think it's any enemy. Maybe it's any enemy. But 5% of the max health is bonus damage. Very nice against the tanky team that the enemy does have set up. Gonna vault backwards, not get caught by that Artanis right there. Thank you very much. And then Firefly Quiver, which improves our basic attack range substantially, which would enable us to just poke and attack these warriors from a much safer distance. So the build I went for, the Hatred build, not necessarily terrible, but I think the safer Fireflight Quiver Manticore build would have been a little bit smarter in this particular game. I don't know. It's kind of one of those fairly interesting choices. We do get flipped back in. Actually falls out of the Sanctification. Bit of a mistake. Gonna walk back into that and start focusing down this Arthas. Gonna walk to the side here. Try finish him off with Strafe and try to move in for the rest of this team fight at the same time. That was actually a pretty important move right there. Fortunately, that Q hit the fort instead of the Artanis, but the intent there was to obviously finish off both. He does go down ultimately, and that's a mega kill for us. Very nice fight. But yeah, you can see right there at the end, obviously calculating, okay, this Arthas is going to die to Strafe. Moving to the left, get into the rest of the team fight, be there as quickly as possible. Let the Strafe finish him off as we move into the left-hand side and back up the Butcher. And that enabled us to make that a 5-for-0 team fight, which is a really, really big deal. We're going to get level 20 off this. We're going to get a keep as well. Going to grab Rancor at this stage. I was even considering upgrading Strafe as well, because obviously I'm a pretty big focus target for the enemy team to pick off. Because again, we have to be positioning fairly aggressively. Spending a lot of mana to destroy the healing well, I don't know if that's actually worth it. After I did that, I was like, you know what, I think I'd probably be better off just having the mana and letting them have that well. That well's really not going to do anything. You know, the mana would be kind of useful for a fight. Tastar's going to tap a well. I'm going to grab that bottom shrine, going to make our way up. We got level 20 now, so it should be a good fight for us. In fact, we get a Dragon Knight just straight off. Nothing the enemy team can do. Going to make our way down to the bottom and try to win the game off of this. We've got a Dragon Knight, we've got level 20. Let's see what we can make happen. There is one problem with this. I think we're going to find out very shortly. And yeah, there it goes. The problem is Ragnaros. Enemy team's got a Ragnaros, which is a big pain in the ass. I'm trying to bust down this wall so we can get in here as quickly as possible. Actually, I went too far forward. Should have just killed that Molten Core as quickly as possible. Chasing the enemy team down, trying to churn out as much DPS as we can. But the Dragon Knight's lost 60% of its HP already. Definitely makes this tough. So we have to back off. So definitely a wasted Dragon Knight. We only got Molten Core cooldown out. We didn't really get any actual damage. So that's not good. Sidestep the flip from Artanis. Make your way towards the middle. Okay, we're going to get some of these front gates right here. In fact, that's a pretty good route. We can maybe make something happen. Never mind, drop the beat, and actually the blind comes out right there. Malf is super low. Cancels his ice block and uses Bolt of Storm to get out, so that's good. I'm going in fairly aggressively. Once again, knowing that we should be okay here, focusing down the Ragnaros. Even going to vault in with Death Stealer and do that. Realised I'd gone very deep in Arthas on top of me, so just stand still, just turret with the Rancor and just blast some shots into him. We just about make it out. Kind of lucky in that sense, which I realised that we've gone so far forwards for those kills. We didn't have like a shield coming up in time. We're probably going to die, so just focusing those basic attacks. We got away with it though, so we'll take it. And this should be game at this stage. We pick up 4 kills. Tyrion's laughing, saying all of his sanks sucked. They weren't too bad. They weren't too bad. Teammates do pick up 1 final kill, and we take down the core. So I think that was a really interesting game. I hope you guys did enjoy that one. Like I said, I wasn't super sold on my talent build. Could have maybe been a little bit better. And I thought it was really interesting to see like some of the, like in hindsight, like some of those split-second aggressive plays we could have gone for, like that vault past suppression pulse to pick up that final attack on Ragnaros during that lane at one stage that we could have done to squeeze that little bit extra out of the hero. Definitely something that you'd probably be more comfortable doing on like comms, where if like people can help you make that call and kind of go like their top lane like go 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 go. As you can see, our damage is very, very high. That's what you can do when you're empowered by Tastar. Again, that's the build. Wasn't a huge fan of the build. It was kind of, yeah, wasn't a huge fan. I think it could have made a better build here, but oh well. I thought it was pretty interesting. You can see afterwards, like straight after that game, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think Manticore would actually have been a better choice, probably tempered by Discipline and then the Firefly Quiver. But oh well, that's c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Sometimes you make a mistake. But yeah, then also we were trying very much so to like push our limits, and you can see that we would lose loads of our life at some stage, and instead of running away, like I hate when you see that. You see like a Valla, you know, you get hit by a bunch of spells they're on cooldown, they don't have them anymore, and the Valla just turns around and runs away. It's like, no, 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 no. Or any hero for that matter. It's like, okay, if you're at low life, it doesn't necessarily matter if you've got like heals coming in soon, or if they don't have the damage to punish you. You can continue going aggressively. You can position very far forwards and get tons of damage out while their cooldowns have been used, and you're still actually relatively safe, even if your health bar is kind of low. And when you're basically running, you know, this fairly all-in Valla composition. We got a Butcher as well, but he's obviously going to have a lot of trouble against the heavy frontline that the enemy team has. Like, you really need to get as much out of the hero as possible. So that's why you really have to be that aggressive. We overstepped a couple of times, for sure, in the game. For sure. Wasn't necessarily the best Valla game, but I think it made for a really good video. It showed some good plays, some mistakes as well. I hope you enjoyed that and actually could learn a whole bunch from it. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video, guys. And yeah, subscribe for more. Coming up very, very soon. Loads of Hero League stuff going to be coming out with the next season. So don't go anywhere. Going to be playing a lot and really pushing to get to Grandmaster and then stay in Grandmaster for a long time. That's the goal for the next season. And stream a lot more too. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will catch you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.